taking longer than normal. Hello, my ramens. Welcome to the Ramen Shop. I'm your host, Nenorama. And to start off this episode, we have to have a little bit of an announcement. My co-host is now no longer my co-host. Howie has decided to step down. It's not that she will be gone forever. She'll just come as a guest every now and then due to personal reasons, which I think and hope you will understand. But for today, welcome to the Ramen Shop again, and I am here with a guest, our first guest on the Ramen Shop, the ever so lovely, the queen of D&D Nerdcore, Cami-Cat.
Hello! Oh my goodness gracious. That's a really sweet intro. Thank you, Nana.
Well, no problem. It's because it's just facts. Like, girl, all your D&D stuff is just blowing up. 3 million on, like, King of the Mountain. What the frick?
I know. It literally just hit 3 million views. I'm so happy.
Like,
not only that, but, like, some of the other stuff is over, like, 450,000, 100,000. Like, it's all going up, and I'm really excited.
yeah. Like, you are super talented. For those who don't know, just, like, Cami-Cat. Well, I don't know how you don't know, because, like, Cami-Cat's, like, way bigger than like,
That's not true.
But you're
big.
big.
10 years.
Well, yes. It took me 6 years to get here.
It's okay. Ep.5. Long grind. We're doing it together.
Don't worry. The grind is indeed a thing. Like she is super talented. Like so many covers that with her amazing voice, absolutely stunning. Great artist. Like, come on. Like all the different covers and like everything. Everything's so good when it comes to Cami. Like you can't not know Cami at this point because Cami is rising as a queen, an utter queen. Like,
oh my gosh, where's my throne?
yeah. I mean, I just need to build it. Let me just get on that. Like,
thank you.
Good Lord.
Good.
Like,
Send it to me. I'm actually really excited.
yes. just like freaking
throne.
MomoCon next year, you just come to the place. You're like, hey, okay, here's your throne.
I'm
Wait,
just like, move aside, peasants. And I like look at you in the face. Where's my throne?
It is over to the side, my queen.
Thank you, peasant.
Just kneeling on the ground, everything. Got the cameras set up. It's all over. It's like,
oh man,
because you're pretty much like the head of a new wave of nerdcore that nobody has really seen, which is like the D&D side of nerdcore. Like,
yeah.
Like I was like, wow, this is indeed a side. And Cami-Cat has proclaimed herself queen in one song and now a ton of covers as well. It's like, whoo.
Yeah, no, it's really interesting. The biggest reason I started doing the D&D stuff was because I joined a campaign that was already about 2 years in, because there were like player issues. Like a couple people had to drop out, and my friend was like, hey, this campaign that I'm a part of with the character that I play that you absolutely love needs some players. Can you like join us? I was like, cool. I don't know who to bring in. And she was talking to me about it, and she was like, you have a sketch, right? You sent me a sketch a couple months ago of this character that you didn't know when to use. And I was like, oh, you're right. So brought in the baby, brought in Danny, and we decided to roll for her history. For context, it just means that instead of me coming up with all of the elements of the backstory, I pick from like a chart after making a roll. Like look at the number, and it's like, okay, so either 1, 2, 3 siblings, no siblings, 6, 7, what have you. Roll the dice. Okay, cool. So 3 siblings, and like it continues like that. And one of the events was a random event. And the random event that I got was you got eaten by a giant fish and lived.
What the?
And I was like, that's how she became famous.
Oh my gosh.
In this city that they're in.
She's Jonah.
Jonah, man.
Just like, aw, dang. We got a new prophet in this campaign. Oh my goodness. Wow, that's pretty cool. Like,
Yeah, it just popped out because of that, and I wanted to have a fun intro song for my character when she came into the group because she was going to be like the resident bard
mm-hmm.
because I didn't have one. And so we played the song during the session when one of the characters was like, "So, what are you like here for? Why do they all know you?" And I was just like, "I'm glad you asked."
You just like you
And we
premiere
played the
this song at the camp.
Yeah, in the campaign,
Oh,
and they all thought it was
dang.
super cool, and they were like, "You should put that up on YouTube."
Oh dang! So
was like,
that's
"Oh."
why. So that's what inspired
Yeah.
it to come up on YouTube. And
Yep.
okay, that's pretty cool. Because
It was.
it's like it made me think. Because like I've been trying to get back into D&D a bit more because through podcasts and whatnot. Sadly, COVID. But until after, then I'll get into a real campaign afterwards, and I'll go into that. But like, oh, at the moment, just like I know at least a good friend is being a queen of her field, and I'm loving it.
I'm not a queen yet, but I am fortunate enough that people are like really backing like all these fun things that I've been doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I have plenty of material to work with because there are always new sessions.
Oh yeah, like
So I can like pull from those other things.
mm-hmm. You're like, don't worry. While D&D isn't every day, it'll be at least once a month.
Yes, exactly. At least once a month.
Yeah, like at least once a month, you'll get more from your queen, even though queen be humble and say she not a queen.
Well, like I'm fortunate enough to have started talking with a couple of people who are in the D&D community.
Yeah.
One of the people who's been like open arms, super nice, super friendly is Joe Cat.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and like, he calls himself the Prince of the Bards, so that's why I'm like, I can't be queen because there's the prince. I ain't above him. No, not yet anyway.
Okay, so you're the princess that's going to usurp the throne pretty soon. To be fair.
There you go. Look out for a coup, guys.
Just be like, well, Dingo Draws is currently queen in my mind, but I'm coming for your throne.
Oh. Gothy is so cool. I'm actually working on a song for Gothy right now.
Oh, heck yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or working on the video for it because the song is actually already done.
Mm-hmm.
It only took me a couple days because it was one of those. I don't know if you've gotten them, but it's like a fit of inspiration where you're just kind of sitting there and you're like, oh, I have to do this now.
Yes.
Well, I guess I'm doing it right now, and you just like build it all.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just like. It's always interesting how that happens. It usually sadly happens when I'm working on other people's projects. Like I don't know what it is. It'll be like, okay, like I'm a bit down on this thing for my song, but oh dang, I just started this song with my friend. I'm gonna make all the lyrics and melody today. And then like,
I think it's like a hype man. You're like becoming a hype. You're the hype man for that project, but you need to be hyped for your own project.
I know,
so you gotta
right?
get yourself your own hype man.
Yeah,
I'm free.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. I'm so excited for all the Nintendo Sweet projects, guys.
Oh, guys, you gotta be ready for this.
Ooh, it's gonna drop.
Oh, it's gonna drop like that bass. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, enough about me. This is about you. Okay, we need to know more about your background. Maybe not as many people know about your background. Like, where'd you come from? How'd you grow up? What's the story behind the Rising Queen?
Well, the Rising Queen was kind of kept on an island, literally.
Ooh, wait,
for most of her life. I grew up on Hilton Head.
Oh, okay.
Which is like at the very bottom of South Carolina for people who don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's really small. It's like a 12-mile long island.
Oh, wow.
Like, total. It's super tiny. It's shaped like a shoe. Yeah, it's like literally, it's like north end, south end. North end's the heel, south end's the toe.
Wow.
And that's how you knew where stuff was if you were local.
Wow.
So if anyone's trying to ask for directions to a place and they didn't say north end or south end, we were like, you're not from here.
Mm-hmm. Yo,
I see.
Oh, I'm gonna go to that shop at the toe today. The toe? Well,
Oh,
I
you
would have
never
thought
call
of
it the toe, just south end.
Okay,
I'm
so
going to
just
the south end today.
Okay,
Yeah.
just go to south end. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I grew up on Hilton Head.
Mm-hmm.
I was a competitive swimmer, so I started basically doing a lot of different sports because my parents wanted all of our like me and my siblings out of the house all the
Yeah.
time because we were very rambunctious, energetic children.
As we
And
do be.
so we needed to, yeah, we needed something to like get the energy out. And
Mm-hmm.
so we tried everything. I did gymnastics for 3 years. I did soccer for 3 years. I was a
Mm-hmm.
ballerina for 7. I did tennis for a couple summers. I tried golf.
Okay.
And then ultimately I landed on doing swimming.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I swam competitively from like starting at age 10.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and this at the time overlapped with soccer and with ballet.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did all three of them for a couple of years and then ultimately divvied down to just swim,
Mm-hmm.
which I did all the way through college because it was one of those things that swimming is really fun and it was a competitive sport and it was a varsity sport. Like you could compete at a varsity level.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just stuck with it. Like I had like three groups of friends growing up. I had like my swimmer friends, I had my school friends, and then I had my friends online.
Mm-hmm.
There's like these three different worlds that I was like spread out
Oh,
around.
absolutely. I could imagine how that goes.
Mm-hmm. It was very interesting, but like it also felt really weird because not a lot of my friends um, kept a love of passion for like the anime stuff that I was into because I
Uh,
used to be that kid that Adult Swim had some anime on at like the wee hours of the morning, and I had to get up at like 4:30 in the morning to go to swim practice, and
hmm.
so I'd get up extra early to watch a couple episodes of Inuyasha.
Oh my gosh.
And then when I got home from practice, I would speed race to my like to whatever TV I could because either Naruto was on or The Last Airbender was on. I know
Uh,
Last Airbender wasn't an anime, but it
well,
was anime
yes.
esque.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Avatar is the best. If you didn't watch
Yes,
Avatar as a child, you had no childhood. Like,
you can
dang.
have one still. It's on Netflix now.
Well, yes, true.
You can
Now
still
is your
have a childhood if you
chance.
want one.
You can have one now. You can just be like, okay, now that I've just reset my entire life due to quarantine, I am now baby.
I can
Therefore,
reset my life from day
Avatar.
one.
Yes, like therefore, Avatar. I'm baby now. Put it on.
Exactly, exactly. But
Yes.
like, so I would like speed race to watch all the shows after school and like after swimming, and wake up extra early to watch a couple episodes before. And then once I got like my own computer,
Mhm.
um, because we used to have like a family computer that we'd all use, and so I never really like delved too deep into that world because I didn't know you could until I had my own laptop and was looking at my own stuff.
Mhm.
And then I was like, wait, people like this? What do you mean it's not just me?
Oh no.
What do you mean there are people who draw this way? And it's okay.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Because my weeb days started a lot later in life than before. Even though technically it was earlier, I just didn't know it. Because I was a Dragon Ball
Yeah.
Z nerd. Of course, I loved me some
Were you a Teen Titans
Digimon.
nerd?
Of course, I love me some Teen
Yes.
Titans. Teen Titans
Yes.
was the way to go. And like, oh, it's like I loved all of these shows, but I always was like, but anime is weird, not knowing that I was indeed a fan of many anime, but I didn't know it. Like, I watched Yu-Gi-Oh as a kid. I love me some Yu-Gi-Oh. I love me some
Mm-hmm.
Digimon. And but the thing is, all the
Oh,
other kids
Pokemon.
knew that as
Pokemon
well.
was also like it wasn't that big for me as a show, but it
Yeah.
was really big for me as a game.
Mm-hmm.
I always got my brother's old games,
Yeah.
and so he had Pokemon Ruby, and so
Mm-hmm.
he had it on his SP. And once he finished the game all the way through, he gave the SP to me so that I could start my own game.
Yeah. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I never I could like when it came to personal games, I was never in that scene because I never owned a video game system until the Wii. And
Oh
even then,
wow!
it was until then it was even a bit later, and that's because I had convinced my parents to get me a Wii because I had spent an entire summer at the time helping my dad build the bathroom in our basement, like doing all the tile work and everything. And I had worked
you're
for
like, I did all this work. I don't want any money. I just want this.
Yes, pretty much. It was just like, my dad was like, do you want anything for working so hard on this? I was like, I don't know, maybe a Wii.
Nice.
Yeah, and that's how I got my Wii. And that was my only console until like not too long ago, where now I am a Nintendo nerd boy, and I have my Switch, I have my SNES Classic, and I have my 3DS. But like, it took so long.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
So for me as a childhood, it was cartoons and TV all day, every day. Like,
yeah, we used to like, I had a lot of like the shows that I watched, and then for like the gaming systems, we basically had like the family system. For a little while, it was only the Nintendo 64. And we would only play that when we were at my grandparents' house for Christmas. And I remember being so enticed in Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
There we go.
My brother wasn't a huge fan, but my cousin was. One of my cousins was a huge like Zelda nerd, and like he was a huge game nerd. And watching him play the game got me really excited about it. I never got to play it because I was not allowed to touch it.
Yeah, little kid syndrome. Like,
little kid syndrome. I wasn't old enough. Like I was old. Like I was, however, big enough apparently to play Super Smash Brothers Melee.
Why?
Because they needed a punching bag.
Well, there you
they
go.
They wanted extra points when they played because they were all too good for each other.
Yep.
So they were like, hey, do you want to come play? You can play as Pikachu. And I'm like, I love Pikachu. And I'd go play. I picked the character because I loved them and how cute they were.
Yeah. Like I've always been like, okay, like my way of gaming through my childhood is like, I did play actually quite a bit, but that was because I went to other people's houses a lot and only requested to play video games. So it would be like, yeah. I like very rarely got to go on like to sleepovers because like usually what would happen is I'd have to go to practice on Saturday mornings, so I could never go to a sleepover, or like rarely ever go to a sleepover. Oh yeah, I was never allowed to go to a sleepover. Yeah, it's no fun. You're just like, well, have fun, guys. I'm just gonna stay here. Yeah, it's pretty much just like it's understandable because I'm pretty sure maybe it's both of our parents that are just like, okay, like it's fun hanging out at a friend's place. We did that when we were kids, but I don't trust their parents, or I don't trust their siblings. I gotta meet your parents. Yeah, I gotta meet their parents. Yep. If they're not nice parents, you're not staying. Yep, pretty much. It's just like I don't know what they were thinking they were doing. Like, from what I saw, most parents were either like really, really, really quote unquote white parents. So like they'd be like, well, hello, welcome to the family. I got you some green jello. Don't worry, me and my husband are going to bed at 10 p.m. What's in that jello, Suzanne? What's in that jello, Suzanne? What's in that jello, Suzanne? Frank, you better not be in on this. No. So like for me it was a little bit of that, but mainly it was like you have an obligation. Yeah. You're doing swimming for a reason. Like you signed up to do it competitively, and so this is your obligation. You got to do it. And I was like, okay. But the few times where they did have like Saturday night parties, and I did get to stay. One of my friends had the GameCube, and they had Wind Waker. And we played the entire game. Whoa! The whole night. We just played right through it. Dang, that's hardcore. Yeah, no, I was like, listen, I've never played this game before. And they were like, we're doing it right now. And I was like, cool. Yeah. Let's go. I think the two times I got really far in a game while playing with a friend was DK64, which I love to this day. And Mario Sunshine. Both great games. And I was just so enamored by these games. They were so good, and we just like played them for hours upon hours upon hours. And then of course eventually it was like, wait, where's our son? He's still at the neighbor's house? It's like 11 p.m. Didn't he go at like 8 a.m.?
He can't be staying over.
No.
Blasphemy.
Blasphemy. You have to come home in your nice bed. Like,
We made it just for you.
We made it just for you. I was like, but I don't know. I mean, their floor could be pretty comfy. I gotta admit.
No, Mickey, you're not allowed.
Oh no!
Gosh. Yeah, no, I was like separated from, like, not really from everyone, but it was just like I never really fully settled anywhere.
Yeah.
I had like all these different groups of friends and never really settled in one spot.
Yeah, like, I can definitely relate with that because I was just always seen as the weird kid. Because, of course, hey, that kid's got an imagination and is a little bit more excited than we are about things. Let's shun them.
Ah.
That kind of jazz. It's like, oh, he doesn't want to play football? That's what we call a nerd. I was like,
I think swimming is part of the reason why I never really got like fully shunned in high school. That and like my brother was like the cool guy, and my sister was the very like smart girl. Like, they were both sort of like the very epitome of what you would see in like those high school dramas.
Yeah, like,
And are like really traumatized, but then I would like look at my siblings and I'm like, yep, no, that seems pretty accurate.
yeah, I know how it goes. Like elementary school, it wasn't until like mainly sixth grade that I had friends, like actual friends, and they were fellow dorks and nerds, theater kids, like all that stuff, and that was a fun time. And then middle school came, and for like 7th and most of 8th grade, I just didn't really talk as much with everybody. It wasn't the best of times. It wasn't until really 9th grade where, because I was in a charter school for for middle school. So by that point, everyone knew each other, and they're like, you know what, like, this kid's not bad. Let's give him a shot. And I did my shot in a weird way. What I did to get people to talk to me is that back then I had made a weird fanfic of sorts. Where
oh my god, you did that too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I made like a comic of all my friends.
Okay, that's like, it wasn't comic, but it was like flat out stories with chapters, and like where we were all set in like a high school where we were all sons and daughters of demigods, and like,
Oh my gosh.
yes, or like gods, or some of us were secretly gods, or something like that. And it was fun like that. And it would be like, oh, this happened with this character. I wrote it so that like you two were a couple, and be like, oh, really? It would be like, oh, I can't believe my character would do that, but also I can. It would be like those conversations as time went on, and people were like, yo, this dude's kind of fun. I was like, there we go. I got my groove at the last year at this school that I'm never going to again. Yeah. And then I moved to France for 2 years right after that.
Oh, that's so fun.
Yeah, you would think.
Well, I only think that because like I would love to like go.
Yes.
Love to go to France at least sometime eventually.
Like, I've living there now for almost 3.5 years in total. I could give definitive statements on France. France.
Now that I've done my time, let me tell you what it's like.
Yes, I will say this: France is a beautiful country. Visit it. Like, if you could visit it for like 3 months during like a summer vacation, if you have like a family or something and you're just not out of a job or something, do that. Don't live there. Just don't.
Fair.
Like, like, a lot of the people are not nice. Like, for the most part, they're not very kind. They're like, we learned that the hard way with our neighbors. Like, they would be nice at first, but then as time went on, they became more and more antagonizing and pessimistic about everything. And they would say things, but you're not allowed to say anything pessimistic back.
Oh.
Like here was the thing. Like, we went to a dinner with our neighbors because we were friends, and they were just bashing France. They're like, we want to move to America. This is not the best ever. The politics here, it is not good. And then my parents were like, you know what? We at that point we were feeling France as well, because there was a lot of complications and all this other stuff that we just didn't like. And then they started saying things. And then after that dinner, they told the other neighbors that we were bashing France.
Oh.
So, like, they just, like, that's no good. Like, what the frick?
You know, that literally sounds like, oh my gosh. I've had a couple of neighbors, like, when I was growing up that were kind of like that, where it was just like, oh, like, this is awful. And someone would be like, yeah. And then they'd go, I can't believe that person said that. Oh my God.
Like,
how dare.
yeah, there were some, of course, good experiences. Whenever we traveled, it was great. France is beautiful. The food is so good.
Yeah, I've heard.
Best aspect of France is the food. I'm gonna say that. Like, it was so good. And, like, I had weird experiences, and it's just, like, looking back, I look more fondly now upon France than when I lived there. But, like, here's my school experience with France. I went to a French high school for a specific period of time. I think it was, like, one term. And that was insanity. Like, that was the time when French people were nice to me, because I was legit the only kid in the entire school that was, 1, American, 2, the only kid who was of an unknown religion to them, of the LDS church.
So they were like, I don't know what that means.
Yeah, they don't know what that means.
It's like looking at it like a test subject, and you're like, curious.
Well, yeah. And 3, I was their test subject. They would try their English like no tomorrow. But the thing is, is like me, I was a Mormon boy who didn't know anything about the world in the slightest, who was stuck in Utah in a tiny area with a 98% Mormon community. So
oh my God.
So let's just say
like,
culture shock was not just like the normal one where somebody's like throwing it to the middle of the pool. I was thrown in the deep end.
You were thrown in the ocean.
Oh,
they like took you out on one of those really deep sea fishing boats, and they were like, have fun, son. Ha-ha.
Hey, kid, have you heard of the Mariana Trench? Well, I read it in a book. Here you go. Whoosh. like these kids would come up to me every day and be like, yo, what's up, mother? And I was like, oh, what the like, yo, my dog. I was like, what the frick is going on? So, like, this is the first time people have ever cursed at me.
I'm not a dog, I'm a human being.
Yeah, it's just like people were cursing at me every single day. And the thing is, they didn't mean any illness towards me, and I know that. But dang, it was a shock to my systems. And there was like so many other things, like the frickin' yes, kids, this is a PG podcast, but I'm gonna bring up something that's not PG, so don't listen for this bit. Siren. Here's the thing: sexual culture in France is so different.
Oh yeah,
it's
I bet.
So mother effing different. Like the way that they approach is completely different. Like, people will go on the offensive in ways that I never even thought of.
That's like you're like on the street, I'm in the gutter.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, interesting.
like the thing is like I never, like, nobody had ever acted like that towards me in my entire life except for like one other person. And so, like, okay, if this gets somehow, even though this is a podcast where things don't get cut out, this might get cut out. But hey, I'm talking to my friend Cami, so I'm just going to say something. Like, okay, so there was an experience once where I was going down the hall. I was in my clothes. I was like all happy. And then this cute girl comes up and she starts speaking to me in French. I was like, je ne comprends pas. Then she was like, and then she looks around, sees a guy, pulls him over, and she tells him what she was gonna say, and then he looks like, I was like, I was like, yeah, and of course, me being that kid, overloaded. I straight up, I will go in this experience as it was. I was like, and she doesn't like my. She said she likes my backpack, and I walked off.
Oh my god, are you serious?
Straight up, never talked to her again. I did not know how to comprehend any of that situation. I was so embarrassed. I was like, what the frick just happened?
Oh man, see, like, that's so funny to me because when I was growing up, I like baby Cami, like little Cami, knew exactly what she wanted. She knew exactly what she wanted out of like dating somebody.
Yeah.
And like whatever I was doing, I was gonna be in it for the long haul, no matter what. I think that intimidated a lot of the guys. Especially because at one point, I remember it was right before high school. It was the last year of middle school, and this poor boy, he asked me if he wanted to start dating me. Like, or no, not if he wanted to, because he wanted to. He asked if I wanted to. I'm brain. He asked if I wanted to start dating him, and I thought he was really cute, and I like really did like him, especially because like he was into like some of the stuff that I was into, and also he drew me a picture, and it was really cute.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And I was like, oh my gosh, you know what? Yes. And he was like, oh my god, yay! And he like went over to go talk with his friends, and then my friends came up to me. It was as if it was planned. And my friends came up to me and they were like, it's so sweet that you're like going to go out with him considering. And I was like, considering what? And they were like, he's moving in 3 months. And I was like, he didn't tell me that. Oh, no, I'm not doing that. I know what this is.
Oh my gosh.
And so like at the end of the school day, I went up to him and I was like, hey, I changed my mind.
Oh wow. I feel so bad for the kid.
But I knew what I wanted, and it wasn't that. I'm like, I'm not gonna date somebody just for 3 months. Oh, that's stupid.
Well, dang. Like here's the thing. At that point, I would have been like, any experience is good experience. like I would love that, because I still haven't been in a relationship, sadly. So like any relationship experience, oh yeah, like that just leads me into a question
that I had is like bowling.
Yeah.
That was the one day that I always went on.
Yeah, like that would just like lead me into a question. What would you tell your past self? Like any advice you would give to like baby Cami?
Baby Cami, I like your style, but also don't be necessarily afraid of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like, because at the end of the day, like, I kind of knew what was probably going to happen, but I mean, it would have been fun. But I like, at the end of the day, it wouldn't have changed who I am, though. I think, because I'm very happy that I knew from the get-go what I wanted, and I knew for a fact that none of the guys around me were mature enough to handle it. So I was like, no, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I don't care. Y'all do your thing. I'll do my thing. We'll just live our lives.
You're like,
and I'll go do what I want to do.
You're like, I don't need no real boys. I got Inuyasha.
No, not exactly like that. No,
okay,
not exactly.
It wasn't exactly. Just a bit, just a smidge, like a little bit of salt on that.
I wasn't asking boys to like fight for my honor, but I wanted them to be like respectful.
Yes, which is good. Have standards.
And like middle school boys did not know how to do that, and so I was like, nope, I ain't about that. And then by high school, after that whole shenanigan, everyone was intimidated by me.
Yeah.
Either that or they thought I was wishy-washy and they didn't want to deal with it. So I was like, that's fine.
Yeah, that's. I don't like it when it's just like, guys, we can't ask her out. She has confidence.
And it was also like, when you grow up in an area that's that small.
Well, yeah,
like
you know everybody
12-mile long
by
island,
that point.
there aren't a lot of locals. And so, like, everyone kind of finds their niche. That's what I talk about with like the high school drama. Everyone had their niche. Everyone had their clique.
Yeah.
And because I was so spread out, I didn't really have a set clique to settle myself into. At least like for an extended period of time. Like I had friends in like all these different groups and like we'd hang out and like all that stuff. But I was bouncing like all these different plates on top of my head. And so I never really like felt like dating anybody because I also knew on my end, I'm like, dude, I swim like 24 hours in a week.
Yeah.
That doesn't include me going to swim meets and stuff. You can't handle this. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I can barely handle this.
I can understand. I think about it, and I feel like I come down to just like 3 things that I would tell myself, because I can't interfere too much with this poor lovable child. So it comes down to 3 things I would tell myself. 1, have confidence in yourself, kid. Like, don't, like, these other kids don't know squat. Just because, oh, they like the boy that throw football doesn't mean that you don't have any worth. 2, you have ADHD.
Oh
no. Don't listen to your parents. You do. Research that. Find out more and realize that all the things you're doing in life isn't because you're a mess up. And
oh my gosh.
yes. And 3, don't hang out with Greg. There we go. That one's done.
Avoided a whole mess there.
Yes, avoid this. Yeah, that mess is a mess. So avoid that mess. Like, you've learned from that mess, but that did more damage than good for. So.
Oh man.
Yeah, so don't. Like that's.
There's like there is advice in that sort of same vein that I'd probably tell younger me.
Oh yeah, like
Yeah,
those
of, like,
3.
Don't stop talking to that person. Put Facebook down.
Yeah.
There's a reason they're not here anymore. Stop it.
Yeah, like
Smack phone down. No.
like, would I say to my younger self, do this or this? Maybe, but at the same time, there's a lot of things I do like that I got from that. Like, hey, I wouldn't be as freaking nerdy as I am if I didn't watch all those every single freaking cartoon on every single network possible. Like, who remembers Stave the Barbarian? Ya boy.
Oh my God, I love Steve the Barbarian.
Yeah, that's the thing. Not too many people remember that ish.
It's been so long since I've seen that show.
I know, right? Like, those are parts of, like, apparently the dark ages of Disney. No, that ish was fun.
That was fire.
Like,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, like, I remember so many freaking cartoons. I watched everything from PBS to most of Cartoon Network. Cartoon Network I wasn't allowed to watch. Like, I would sneak in shows eventually at the age to where my parents were fine. But it's like, my parents saw Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Oh my gosh, I loved that show.
And they said, why do you love this freaking terrifying show? No, you're not allowed to watch Cartoon Network. It was like, okay. And they like already knew 90s Nickelodeon / Cartoon Network. And they're like, if it's anything like those days, let's not.
There was one
which
time,
knowing Ren and Stimpy, I understand.
Oh my gosh, Ren and Stimpy. I didn't watch those. My brother watched those. Like more like cartoony stuff.
Yeah.
I remember the one time where my dad kind of got a little bit like, I don't know what you're watching. Was every so often, like it would usually be Inuyasha, but every so often there would be episodes of Bleach that would come on in those early hours of the morning.
Yeah.
And so Bleach would come on, and I it's not that I couldn't tell the difference between the two, but I didn't care what episode they were on. I just enjoyed what was happening. And with Inuyasha, it could make a little bit more sense because Inuyasha had the same sort of like story idea.
Yeah.
They're looking for the shards. They might have found a shard.
Yes.
Kikyo comes in and she's mean.
Then you
They
hear
get the
yelling,
shard.
Kagome!
might show up.
Inuyasha!
Like, that's
Kagome!
literally it.
Inuyasha!
Kagome!
Oh, Kagome!
Like that structure made sense to me.
Yeah.
But every so often Bleach would come on, and I didn't entirely understand what was happening, but I just thought it was neat.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a similar style to like Inuyasha, and so I was like, okay, I'll watch this sometimes. And like my dad, he usually wouldn't care, but when this particular episode was on, I don't remember which one it was, but it was extremely violent.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And my dad was like, honey, what are you watching? I was like, I don't know. It's not what I normally watch, but I think it's neat.
Yeah. It's the Marge meme. well, I just think it's neat.
Holding up Ichigo, like,
Yeah,
I just think it's neat.
Like, I was gonna be like, oh, was it one of the lewd scenes? Oh no.
No.
Okay, thank goodness.
It was
But,
just one of the more violent scenes.
which is interesting because usually America is fine with that. So okay, like, I could just imagine that.
Because I was like, I think I was maybe 12 at the time. Which is
Oh.
why it was a little bit more concerning.
Well, no, like, I would have been fine, like, because 12 is when I got into Dragon Ball Z Kai. Like,
Yes, but I was a girl.
oh, okay.
I was
like,
a 12-year-old girl. It's a little weird.
I forgot. It was them old days.
I was a girl?
Well, no, I forgot it was them old days. If I saw my daughter watching freaking Bleach, I would be like, yike. Okay, we started from episode 1. You watching Bleach without me?
It's like, oh my god, you shouldn't start here. Turn on.
You don't start. Okay, you're starting way too late. This is where we start.
Never
Don't
start
worry.
with episode 21.
Come on, you should have asked your father. I have the entire thing on Blu-ray. Like, well, that's what it's going to be. First of all, still haven't watched Bleach, but I need to. Same with Inuyasha. Haven't watched it, but I need to. Because now both of them are
Inuyasha is
coming back.
fun. It's
Like-
just like it takes a while.
Oh, yeah. And I know that it has, like, the villain of the week kind of jazz. But, like, I hear that it's fun in the end all. And I know that a lot of my friends
awesome, yeah.
used to
It
watch it.
gets- Yeah, it gets
Yeah.
fun. But it's also just like very repetitive.
Oh, yeah. Like, I'm going to get to it because now apparently both are coming back in some way, shape, or form.
Yes!
So I'm like,
Inuyasha's
okay.
coming back with the baby.
Yeah. So Inuyasha's coming back and Bleach is coming back. And I'm like, okay, I
Yeah,
I
Speed
gotta give
Racer
these a
revs
shot.
my engines too. Sorry.
And it was weird because it's like the things that kept me away from quote unquote watching anime while I was watching Dragon Ball Z was
I
when
didn't
my
think
friends.
Dragon Ball Z was actually anime.
Yeah, I didn't know. And so
I thought
like,
it was American.
yeah, I thought it was American. I didn't know Sonic X was also American. Wasn't American. Like who would have known?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
I guess that's just credit to the dubbers though.
yeah, it's credit to the
'Cause,
dubbers.
like, they made it
It's-
feel like it was.
Mhm.
It was. It's not that it wasn't made here, but it made it feel like it was cohesive.
Yeah.
What was happening on the screen was cohesive enough to us that it was like, oh yeah, it's totally English. And it's like, what do you mean it wasn't English?
Yep. Blessed be the cursed 4 kids.
Yeah, yo,
Yo.
German.
I never watched One Piece on there. But I love the One Piece rap. I watched Yu-Gi-Oh! And Sonic X and Sonic Underground. So I just remember duel. Yogi boy, if you're not careful, your soul will be sent to the shadow realm.
Grandpa, now.
Grandpa, no. Yugi, why are you getting rid of your soul? I bought those kids at like Walmart for $5. It's for the heart of the cards, Grandpa.
For playing a children's card game.
Pretty much. Freaking Seto Kaiba is one of the most biggest Chad lads in all of anime.
My God.
The man sent
I
Yu-Gi-Oh
hated
cards
Seto.
into space because he said, if there's even a chance of intellectual life forms in space, we gotta send them our most refined and cultural aspect of our race.
Children's card game.
Yes, pretty much. Like, Kaiba's just...
I never liked Seto. I thought he was weird.
Oh yeah, he's a weirdo, but it's like in the best way. So it's,
Yeah, I
like,
mean,
like
if you have the money to make it happen, I guess you do.
pretty
you.
much. Like, Mans could have just kept that third Blue Eyes White Dragon. Instead, he rips it up, so then he has 2 of the only ones in the world.
He could, yeah, he really could have had all 3, and then it would have made a lot more sense. But again, he's weird.
Oh yeah, he's weird. He's an utter mad, insane lad. Okay,
Gosh.
this just brings me into another thing. Like, what's our current obsessions? Like,
Oh man. Avatar.
Yeah, Avatar.
I'm back.
Oh, here we come. It's coming back.
It's coming back. Oh, here we go again.
Oh, yeah, here we go again. Like, Avatar is big. My family's watched it for like the 5th time already. It was to the point where they watched the live action just to see how bad it was. I watched parts of it with them. Oh my gosh, it's so bad. It's so bad.
Never watch the live action.
Never.
Ever.
Like, here's the thing. I watched it with them because I was like, you know what? Fine. I'll watch just to see just how bad it is. It is as awful as they say. It is so bad. It's so bad. Why is there 6 earthbenders to move one tiny stone in
Are
a
you the airbender, Ong?
Ong. The Avatar. The Avatar. Avatar is a word.
Avatar.
It's an English word.
Oh, Lord.
It was so bad. This makes me excited for the new live action Netflix show since the original writers are part of it, and I can hope that it's good.
But do you know when that's coming out?
They haven't said. They just said they're working on it, and so like they've been getting stuff. They were doing casting, so it's probably still just in the stages, or the VFX are being worked on at the moment. It could be any of this stuff. Nothing's being said because we already know once that happens, the world will blow up and everyone will search up every single one of these actors' credentials and see if they're worth it or not.
I just hope it goes well.
I just hope it goes well.
That's all I want. I just want it to be a good, like, I don't even need it to be like exactly like the original. I don't need it like part for part.
Yeah.
Haru's part is kind of neat, but also at the same time, I'm like, all right,
yeah,
you don't need to come back. You're done.
Pretty much. All I need.
Every part had its reason for being there, but I think that some of them can be taken out for the sake of time. You can't take Jet out. Reasons.
Okay, you can't.
We can't take Jet.
Well, of course, we need ourselves a good Iroh, though. So
we can't have anything less than the perfect Iroh. I will riot if we do not.
Oh yeah, like Iroh is everyone's grandfather right now.
We need a good Iroh and we need a good Zuko.
Yeah, we need a good Zuko. We just need a good everyone at this point.
Yeah.
like okay, like
I don't need a perfect Sokka. I think I need.
Well,
I would rather have a Sokka that's not that funny but follows the same sort of arc of like. I don't think women should do stuff, and then realizing he's made a horrible mistake.
I don't know. I need a funny.
And be like
I need
clever.
a funny.
I don't need him to be funny. I still need him to be clever.
Well, yes, but clever equals funny. So like.
Yes.
So
like
that's
you can
I want
have
him to do that.
But I don't need him spouting one-liners all the time. Like that's what I mean.
They don't need
people might like make him the gag of all the jokes. I don't need him to be the gag.
Yeah.
I'd rather him be less funny and more clever than be funnier but the one-liner gag of the show.
Yeah. Like here was the thing. Okay, with this dumb live action movie, I will tell you this now. Sokka is scarier than Lord Ozen.
His eyes.
His eyes.
A couple of scenes is just his eyes.
Legitimately.
They pierce into your soul.
I saw a scene and he just went up to he'd be like, Aang, I will protect you with my life. And I was like, you look like you're the main villain of the movie. You look like you want to kill Aang, not protect him. Pretty much. Like, I was so confused. I was like, what in the world? Why is Sokka, who barely says anything in the entire movie and doesn't make a single joke within the entire movie, scarier than our big baddies? Like, like I do want me a good Sokka.
I need good Zuko makeup.
Yes.
That's the other thing I need. I need good Zuko makeup.
Yes, I need it to be correctly cast.
I need him to be nice and toasty
as well. So like. Instead of having Indian people for some reason be the Fire Nation.
Follow what actually is laid out there for you.
Yeah.
It's like out there right in front of your place?
It's legit just right there. I don't know. I think they were Indian because M. Night Shyamalan is Indian, so he wanted like big Indian representation, which is weird because technically, if we're getting technical with Buddhist monks, you can have Indian Buddhist monks. And
that would have been interesting.
Yes. Like, I'm pretty sure that the one, I'm trying to remember his name, the one monk that taught Aang to open all of his chakras was in, like, I'm pretty sure he was of Indian descent.
Oh.
But like,
oh no, that's not Gyatso. That's the other dude.
Yeah, the other dude, the one that's
gosh,
like,
I know exactly who you're talking about. But I don't remember that dude's name.
If you leave now, you will not open your last chakra and be the Avatar state. Yeah, pretty much.
You will not be able to go into the Avatar state at all.
Yes, like, pretty much. Yeah, so that dude.
Yes, I remember him so vividly. He's like, you can't do it, Aang. You won't be able to do it. And
yes.
Aang, listen to the man.
Aang, listen to the man. Don't go simping. Don't go simping. And he went simping, and he lost the Avatar state for a bit.
Gosh, Aang, just simp.
Yeah, Aang is definitely the simp. He's the simpatar. Like, but
only the simpatar, master of all 4 levels of simping,
yes,
would be able to stop it when the world needed it the most. He went off and simped.
He went off to her OnlyFans.
He went to her OnlyFans. Oh no!
Like, legitimately. Okay. In terms of my obsessions, right now, I'm loving Brand New Animal, BNA.
I haven't watched it yet.
Yes, watch it. Like, here's the thing. Story, not the best, but hey, the rest is wonderful. I love the characters. The art style's great. Opening and endings are bangers, especially the ending. Ending is probably one of my favorite endings of all time. Like,
nice.
Probably because I just love its chill vibe that really like brings you in. But like, it is so nice. It's such a fun show, and I am a Michiru simp. Like, I love me some Michiru. Give me Tanuki Girl, please.
Please.
Oh, Tanuki Girl, best girl. Love her. She's great. It's a lot of fun. Story, I like aspects of it, what they're trying to go for, but by the end, it's a cluster frick because it's Trigger, and that's all they know how to do. But it's a good show. It's a definite recommendation. Very fun time.
Nice.
If we had done this podcast months earlier, we would have both been geeking out on Beastars.
Beastars!
I love me some Beastars. Beastars is so good. I love that show so much. I love everything about it.
It's
Animation,
so interesting, and I like the dynamics of
everything.
like how they decided to portray like the carnivores and the herbivores, like that whole system. And then it's literally, you do have to think about, they are carnivores, they do have to eat meat. Like, how is that gonna work?
Like how's that gonna work? Like, here's the thing. It's one of the rare times where I watch the dub first, and I love the dub cast so much. Every single one of the voice actors fit these characters so well that I'm just
Jonah
like,
Scott is so
Jonah
good.
Scott. Okay, I just love the mans now. Like I heard from Cami that from Kathy that she used to talk to him and was like part of the scene. I was like, oh, that's cool. Go follow his Twitter, and he's just an utter nerd, and I love it. When he did the freaking Bulgy Wulgy meme.
He did.
It was so funny.
Gosh.
He just gets to a party. He's like, no, I'm done.
I'm just mad. I love his singing voice. Have you
I
went.
That tweet came out today to me, so I haven't listened to it yet. But
that's Griffin Puatu. Griffin Puatu put out the tweet today of a new cover.
Yeah, Ben Diskin. He retweeted. He's my
childhood.
Oh, he is.
Kids Next Door.
Wait, he was
what?
What?
He was number 1 and number 2.
No way! What?
Yeah, Ben Diskin is childhood.
Yo, I don't. Okay, that man's uber talented because I couldn't tell. Because the thing is, he played characters in both Retsuko and Beastars, so I recognize that. Yeah, he played Haida, and he played good old golden retriever boy. And like, I recognized is the voice that time. I was like, oh, okay, I can recognize this person. How did I not recognize number 1 and number 2? What?
Yeah.
Oh,
I give you total full fairness on number 1 because he like changed his voice a little bit for that one.
He does.
But number 2, he sounds very similar.
Yeah, I just didn't even think of that. Like,
yeah.
Oh my gosh. Like, I just started following voice actors. And, like, I'm trying to remember. Oh my gosh. Because I know the voice act. Okay, Lara Jill Miller as Haru. Okay, do you know who Lara Jill Miller is?
Oh my gosh. I don't know her, but I think that the voice for Haru.
I know her voice.
I thought it was an interesting choice, and it definitely grew on me.
Oh, it grew on me immediately.
I like how it's soft yet sassy.
Yes.
And it's not like the typical like anime girl voice.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They could have gone for that, and they decided not to.
They did that,
which I very much appreciate.
Oh, I appreciate that completely because I feel like they're heading more towards that, where they're trying to make it so that, hey, these are characters. This is more of an adaptation in our own way. Let's make it so that they sound like people that fit their character in English. And I was like, heck yeah. Lara, I think I'll say Lara. Lara Jill Miller, I recognized her voice in the weirdest way.
How?
Do you know of a show called Doc McStuffins?
I do.
She's Lammy in Doc McStuffins.
Oh.
So as a big brother of 4 sisters who sadly knows too much about Doc McStuffins, I recognize the voice instantly. I was like, where have I... Is that Lammy? I was like,
God, Lammy!
I was like, okay, Lammy.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
It is.
I like as somebody who doesn't have like the I guess anime girl voice. Like my voice is not clear.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like that. I don't want to say like high pitched kind of thing because it's not as clean. I'll say my voice is not as clean as like other like girls when it comes to like singing or voice acting or what have you. And so hearing somebody who doesn't have that like orthodox like voice, quote unquote, and being able to like hear that from the perspective of a character that I do enjoy, I'm like, oh
yeah,
I can get behind that.
Yeah, like going through, she's been in a lot of other stuff. Like she's in Bunnicula and World of Warcraft, and If You Give a Mouse a Cookie and Curious George. But the one that more recently, she's in OKKO. She's 3 characters.
Really?
She's
what
Fink,
characters is she?
Truffle, and Mama Truffle.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, she's also in The Loud House. She's Lisa and Liam. So she's Lisa Loud, one of the, I think.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's the like super mega smart loud child.
Nice.
Yes. So like that's how. So, but I know her as a Lammy from Doc Stuffins. So it is definitely one of the weirdest ways to find out.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, because you're just like, this sweet little child voice for Lamb. She's now Sexy Rabbit.
Whoa, Lammy, you're really.
Oh, Lammy. Oh wait,
Lammy, not in front of the
she
kids.
was also from Digimon? I had no idea.
Was she?
She's Kari.
No way!
Yeah, whoa.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, whoa. Holy
brain just
crap. Yeah, she's like, she was apparently a Wow Wubsy. She was in Disgaea. Oh, wow. It's always fun to find out where voice actors have been in their roles, because sometimes you just don't know because they're that good. Like, dang. Oh, okay. Getting into voice acting. Like, we're both voice actors, I'd say, to a degree. And we just need
I actually wouldn't consider myself a voice actress.
Really?
I haven't done enough projects.
Okay. Well, actually,
I also don't do it like I haven't pursued it. I would like to eventually, maybe, but like I don't heavily pursue it.
Okay. If anything, I'm gonna bring something up after this podcast ends. Actually, so that'll be something. But like, I feel like voice acting is such a awesome field, and if anything, I would like to get into it a bit more as well. In fact, I have been slowly getting into it more. I'm a voice actor now for a channel.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which is a channel that I'm going to talk to you about.
Yay!
Yeah.
Fun.
If anything, this will just be like promotion. It's called Shav's. Shav's Media Productions is the channel, and they do mainly comic dubs at the moment. But they're trying to do more original stuff eventually. And like currently, I am their resident voice for all 3 of the Skeleton family. So I'm Gaster, Sans, and Papyrus.
You're pulling me back into the Undertale hole.
Oh, yes, of course. Undertale, which, of course, is the 5th anniversary this year.
Yay!
Oh, I've got big things for that.
Oh my
but,
gosh,
like,
it's been 5 years.
I know, right? Like,
that was like my first big, like, blow up.
Oh, like, Undertale is so good. I love it so much. And it's done so much for me. I can't wait. Because I've got things prepared. Many a song will be coming out on that anniversary. Like,
excellent.
Because it deserves it. Best video game of all time, in my opinion. And yes.
That's a very strong statement.
I know it is a very strong statement. But I'm not standing. I'm standing my ground. Like,
nice.
It's so good. It's so good. So, like, that just makes me think, like, if anything, I just hope, if one day, if I even voice one character in an anime or a cartoon, I think I'm good. Like,
fair. I'm kind of on that boat. If I ever got that opportunity, it'd be really cool.
That's, like, on site. I'm taking that on site. Like, I just wanted it. That would be so good. Like, I feel like you would be a great voice actress, and from what I've seen, you've done good. Like,
thanks.
Yes.
I just have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
I think it's just I'm not too sure where to start. Like, I've had projects that friends have done that, like, they've asked me to join in on, or there's projects that my friends have run that I just thought were neat, and so I hopped in. But I haven't gone out of my way to, like, go searching. You know?
Like, I feel like the way that I'm going for it is that I just want to build up a repertoire first. So just by, like, voice acting and whatever I can get at this moment, and once it's, like, a good enough, then I'll try for some bigger things and hope to get it. Like, because by practicing voice acting, that just means I get better and, like, learn more of how my voice works and what roles I should go for, and so on and so forth. Like, it's a very interesting field, and it's very the talent. That's it. The talent.
People who have, like, that wide range where they have, like, a normal voice and then all of a sudden they go into, like, the super deep epic voice, and you're like, oh my gosh.
Yes.
How did you do that? Your voice is like 3 octaves higher than that.
Yeah, because like, for me, I can go into my higher voice, and then even higher, but I don't want to strain myself. Or I can.
Sometimes I can go into a higher voice. It doesn't really sound quite normal, but you know.
But sometimes I can go into a deeper voice and go like southern or a little.
Well, howdy, partner.
Howdy. Howdy there.
Really. I think it'd be fun to be able to delve into the different accents a little bit. Not a lot, but
yes.
If they ever needed, like, a smaller role with something like that, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah. Like, in terms of accents, I feel like I get good at them if I practice long enough. Because I used to have a British accent down pat, and the only reason I was confident in it because I had British friends that were like, okay, you do sound like you're from England. I was like, yes.
Do they tell you what part though? That's the real question.
They said just flat out London style.
Yeah.
And
that's usually like the go-to.
Yeah. like I've done Birmingham before because I have a friend who's from Birmingham. But like, dang, that's a harder accent to get down. Like, it's interesting with French accent. I've just got it down because I can speak French. So, like,
The French accent is a little bit easier, especially when you have someone who speaks French around you, or you do speak French yourself.
yes, if you talk like this a bit and you just enunciate it,
You
and
enunciate
then
your words.
make sure you do not pronounce the H, so like on elephant, on
The
helicopter, the H. So, oh look, it is an helicopter with an elephant on the helicopter.
Elephant on the helicopter.
Yes, I would like out of an elephant on an helicopter, please. Pour today, euro. Un petit peu du fromage, s'il vous plaît.
Say it again. Omelette du fromage.
Omelette du fromage. Oh, that just makes me want to do a quick story of something I did when I was in France. So I had a teacher when I was in middle school who spoke a little bit of French and went on an exchange to France for a bit. While there, he was dared on a train to do the What you don't know is that Paris especially despises
Oh no!
like they're just like, that is the most offensive stereotype, how dare you, kind of jazz.
No.
And so he was like, okay, I'm gonna wait. And he went, and he thought everybody was about to get off at one of the big stops. So when he thought everyone was getting off, he just went out and went, oh. What he didn't know is everybody stayed on that one.
Did they yell at him?
No, they didn't yell, but they gave him the biggest death glares he had ever seen in his life.
Oh gosh.
The thing is, I wanted to do the same thing. So when I was in Paris,
Why?
because
After you heard that story?
yes, it was after I heard that story. I thought it would be fun. I thought I could, like, that's not gonna happen
It
twice.
seemed like a good idea at the time.
Well, it's like, hey, this will be fun. It's not like anybody's actually, like, people will get off this time, right? They didn't get off.
No.
So I was just like, oh.
Oh.
And while I didn't get everybody staring, I got a few people that were just like, does that kid want to be murdered?
Ah, I see. So you've chosen death.
Ah, I see. So you've chosen death.
So you have chosen death.
Yeah, like,
This one is not going to make it.
yes, this one's not gonna make it. It'll be like, with a little bit of wine and a bit of cheese, I can take out his entire family.
I killed a man with this thumb.
Absolutely.
He was on a train trying to laugh like a Frenchman.
Oh, so for those who don't know, you're of French descent as well, right?
Yes. French Canadian. Like my
Québécois.
my grandparents' parents moved from France to Canada, and then they went from Canada to America.
Okay, so that's just more France.
It's just like I have a wombo combo with French.
Well, yes, wombo combo. The thing is, you just say France because you don't want to say Québécois.
I know.
Yeah.
No, I'm fully aware of the distinct difference. I had a friend in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he wasn't my friend, but he was like I called everybody my friends in high school. I was that kid.
Yeah.
But he was Canadian French, and our French teacher was teaching us French, and he always like tried to contradict her. And I was like, "Oh no, that's not how we say it." And I'm like, "That's not how you say it. It's different." It's different.
It's, yeah,
Like
it's
shaking his
absolutely.
shoulders, like, what are you doing?
Like, here's the thing.
Not actually shaking his shoulders,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I was just like, mm.
Because in France, they hate
Yep.
the Quebecois. Legit. I just saw. I was just like, oh, they're like, oh, as long as you're not from Quebec. Like,
Yeah.
they were like, my dad who had lived in Quebec. Yeah. Like, oh.
Yeah, no. Actually, my middle name is from my great grandfather because my middle name is gender neutral in France.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah. So it's spelled a little differently.
yeah, because my mom comes from an island off the coast of Madagascar, known as Reunion Island. And that is technically owned by France, so I'm French.
Yeah.
And she speaks French, so yeah.
Yeah. One of my instructors in college actually, no, he wasn't from, where was he from?
Mauritius?
No,
Mauritius?
I believe. Yeah, because we were going to have there was a trip there, I think. I don't remember it off the top of my head, and I don't want to say it because I can't say it with confidence.
Yeah. Yeah, because they own plenty of islands just still around the world, so yeah, it makes sense. So if he was from Mauritius, that's cool. It's interesting if there was a
instructor.
trip.
I loved him.
Yeah.
He got me through that class because it was like one of those classes where you spoke French straight out, and I wasn't actually supposed to be in it.
Oh.
But I quote unquote excelled enough with my testing.
Mm-hmm.
I basically passed this test so that I could get into that class, even though I couldn't really speak French that well.
Mm-hmm.
I felt so bad because he kept trying to get everyone to speak French, and only 3 or 4 people were able to do it. And I would try, and I would fail miserably.
Yeah, because that's so hard, but it's the best way.
Yeah, it really is. It's so good. I learned more in that semester, in that half year of classes that I took, than I did in 5 years of high school teaching.
Yeah.
And I say 5 years because I count that 1 year in middle school where they tried too. They just couldn't get me to learn anything. And then that one semester I was like, oh no, I could speak it fluent for a month.
Yeah, French never came to me when I was living in France. It came to me when I'm still not the best with French at all. But I'm still decent enough to where I can understand what people are saying for the most part, and I can speak a little bit. But that was from my mission when I was living in Switzerland and France. So that was the way that I learned. I would have to say, because when I did high school French, I think I had a different experience. My French teacher, we'll just say she's an odd one.
I feel like that's a norm in
that's the
high school
thing.
French.
Yeah, legit.
That's a requirement. Are you weird? Yes, French.
Yeah. The thing is I was I don't want to be mean, but I wasn't sure why she was a teacher. Cause the thing is that she is a very timid and anxiety-filled person, about everything. So legit everything. So if anything went wrong, she would just be like, okay, well, we're done for this, and then study for 20 minutes. As she would just be sad in a corner. But she obviously loved French. But when my mom tried talking to her afterwards, she came to me and she's like, I didn't understand a single thing she said.
Oh no.
Yeah, so it was, but she did really like me. She kind of gave me preferential treatment for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe because I lived in France for a bit. So it was just...
so she's like, you know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
sure.
pretty much. So she was just like, now, I got through into the French Honors Society, which is, so I was doing fine. She was like, I wouldn't usually give... because I was a senior when I did that because of the 2 years in France thing. So I just went into normal high school in senior year. She's like, usually I wouldn't do this, but I think you're an exception. You get it. You'll be on stage and everything. I was like, what? I was like, okay.
You get it.
Yeah,
That's
you
great.
get it. It's like, oh.
Oh my gosh.
She'd give a little bit of help here and there. And I was like, okay. And I think maybe because I was probably one of the few students that did respect her as a teacher a little bit. like like we had some problematic students in that school.
A little bit of respect goes such a long way.
Yeah. Like it makes me think because those years I did 2 videos for that French class. 2 French videos. Looking back, both of them aren't the best. but at least I did better than the other students, luckily. And B, I actually cared about the assignment. And so me and good old Dalvando worked on those. And I did so with some classmates, and it was a fun time.
Ah, nice.
Like, because one was where I did a recipe for like a French/Italian dish. Where you make a mushroom tapenade and then you put it on freshly baked baguette. Oh. Like, Momocon, I want to make that. Like, that would be awesome.
Please, that sounds good.
Oh, it's so good. I love it. And so just like saying all of that mixed in with like English and French. Oh, cringeworthy, but still fun. Like, oh, fun. Makes me wonder if like everyone. Oh wait. Sorry, ADHD makes me go on tangents, but like,
it's okay.
Yes,
it's okay.
I just remembered that afterwards, because I had graduated from that high school, that teacher went off and went to my sister's high school and became my sister's teacher.
Oh no.
So of course she would be like, apparently she just rambled about me a ton. And I was like, okay, like, I was nice to the teacher, but like, dang.
I feel that though as the younger sister, and like my brother was super charismatic.
Yeah.
So like all of his teachers would love him, and then my mom would make sure that I was in those classes.
Oh, don't.
And so I would get like the super duper treatment, and then I would set a good like example for my sister.
Oh, okay, that's good. Cause
yeah,
my sister, she was like, okay, like it was good that she was your teacher and she liked you at all. But she doesn't have to bring you up almost every single day. Also,
I never got that much. Like,
yeah,
but it was always like I could tell that they were like, oh, you're so and so's little sister. I'll let you slide. I'm like,
yeah. I was like, okay, like I just don't know how I got like that high in that teacher's eyes. But also, she was just like, my sister can be a lot more critical, so she just came home and was just like, this woman should not be a teacher and should not be teaching. I'm like, dang, that just straight up, like, oh, like I feel bad. She's very nice, but dang, she's an anxious wreck that doesn't even completely know French to the best ability. So, oh
goodness, bless her.
Bless her heart. Okay, I think this is a good point to cut it off because usually the podcast goes from like an hour to an hour 30. We've been going for an hour 18. Like, I feel like this was a very good conversation because this podcast is now just going to be me talking to friends. Like, I just want to have a conversation with friends because I don't get to talk to y'all enough.
I know.
Like,
we need to hang out more.
Yes, of course. Like, it makes me wish we had like crazy, it makes me wish we had like the Nerdcore house, but like
oh, yes,
because I love all y'all. I love y'all so much. Everyone's so talented, and I feel like we would like motivate each other to like make even more content. Because like whenever we get together, we're just like, yo, we gotta make stuff when we get back, and then we get into.
I would like kick down your door and be like, no, let's work on a thing.
And I'll be like, let's do this. Because it's like we always say we're gonna do projects, and then we just are both too busy.
I know. I hate it.
Yeah, because there's been like 2 projects that have just been pushed to the side. That was like a year and a half ago that we talked about them. Like,
gotta bring it back.
We gotta bring them back. Be like, okay, that's it. When we sing in French, y'all ain't ready.
Yes.
Like, ooh.
Please.
like Papa Ute cover
I
when?
need a little help with the pronunciation because it's been so long.
Yes, and like I'll definitely help to the best of my ability. We'll help each other. We got this.
We got this.
Okay. So thank you guys for coming and listening to this episode of the Ramen Shop. The next episode will be on the 25th of July because it is a bi-weekly podcast. Who's the next guest? I don't know yet, but I'm hoping for Genuine.
Oh my gosh, yes!
Yes.
Sorry, Genuine is such good content.
Oh yes, he is my boy, and
Oh my god.
having good
Talent
old
knows no bounds.
yes, Bob Ross of just the music scene. Love the
Bob
boy.
Ross of music, yes.
Yes, love the boy, and we'd have plenty to talk about, probably about anime waifus. So,
I'm tuning in for that one.
oh yeah, absolutely. Make sure to subscribe to the queen here, Cami-Cat. Like, of course, channels Cami-Cat. Of course, Twitter, Cami-Cat. It's Cami-Cat
Cami-Cat
tweets.
tweets.
So search her up. She is an utter bean, a lovable being that deserves all the attention and affection and love in the world.
You're very nice and I appreciate you a lot.
You are a elder queen, and I appreciate you so much.
Aw, I appreciate you for having me on. This is such a delight.
Of course. Of course, I'm hoping sometime in the future to invite you back. If anything,
Oh, yes,
I would
please.
love to have my previous co-host Howie to be on it, because I wanted her to be on, so then y'all can geek out on D&D, because y'all are utter D&D nerds, and I'd just love to see how that
Yay!
goes. Like, she's been a DM, and she's recording her own D&D podcast that will become...
That's so fun.
Yeah, and I'm just like, well, and Cami-Cat makes freaking D&D songs and covers and is another nerd for D&D as well. I just wanted to see how that goes, but at the moment, that's not possible. But next time, absolutely, if I can get it. So until then, make sure to subscribe also to this channel, RamenTV. Share as much, because this is my side channel with 150 subs, which is decent, but at the same time, I want people to listen to this freaking podcast, because while this is just mainly a podcast to talk with friends, because I just love that, and more of like a time capsule, so then like I can look back and be like, okay, I talked to this friend and we had a great conversation. We talked about this. This was happening at this point in time. As well,
It'd be cool to do like updates of like, where are you now?
yeah, where are you now?
Where
How
have you
is this
been?
going?
Where are you now?
Where have you come from, Cotton Eye Joe? Like, like, and with this whole like live stream setup, which I really like, is that it just leaves less editing for the most part, unless I'm going to probably now have to edit one specific section out. But other than that, like usually I just leave even like the mess ups where people burst into my room kind of jazz. Like, I'll usually leave that because I'm just like, it's part of the experience. It's a fun time. And if we can get a big enough community, then we can talk to them in with the live chat and answer questions that way. I feel like that's also really fun and really creative. And I hope to get to that point. But right now we're 5 episodes in, and there's only one way to go from here, and that's up. So I can't wait.
Yeah.
And heck yeah, thank you guys so much for listening.